Everyone, welcome to Deep Dives with Dogs. Well, today's topic is about the conquest of Macedonia and Greece as a whole by Rome. So, the Romans, obviously, on their many conquests, of course, conquered Greece. And this took quite a while, actually. It took a little bit longer than you would expect, especially from the early Romans. But also maybe not so much, because the Greeks, of course, are the rulers of the last age. Not really, actually, that's more Egypt. But the Greeks are very strong in their own right. And yes, the Romans are very powerful as well. But the Greeks will put up a fight. Which is very obviously odd to us today, because when you really think about it, who's some of the most Roman people, at least Romophiles, still around? It's the Greeks. And even not long after the conquest of Greece, it was the Greeks. The Greeks loved the Romans, loved being Roman, mostly because they felt it was an extension of their culture, which it was in a lot of ways. Um, Rome was a lot of Hellenic files, so uh, you'll have that. But in the early stage, but still, no one necessarily wants to be conquered, especially not the leaders of the nations. So they try to put up quite the fight. One of the first really to go is the king of Macedon, King Perseus of Macedon, at the Battle of Pydna. And really, this is the one that if he goes, they all go kind of thing. Not to say Greece was not still a fighting force, but they were definitely a lot weaker. And so, if Macedonia goes, which is really the strongest of these Greek states, um, especially because of things like Alexander's conquest, which has been a while now since this point, but it's not so long ago that Macedonia doesn't have any power. Definitely weakened, but not fully weak. But Macedonia will lose at the Battle of Pydna, and King Perseus will be removed. King Perseus, he's not Alexander, or even Alexander the Great's father. Alexander's father really sets up a lot of the empire for Alexander the Great to rise and do all the things he does. Now, Alexander was still, of course, a military genius, but so was his father. His father did a lot of things, logistical genius, just good king all around. So it really sets up a lot of this stuff for Alexander. But even if he was king, the Romans would have had a much, much harder time because he would have fought pretty hard and would have known maybe more so what to do. Not fully, obviously, it's different times, different place, it just is what it is. But still, he may have had a better time. But, who can say? And obviously, when we think of these Greek city-states, a lot of people will think of Sparta, but Sparta, by this point, is long gone. Sparta has not existed for I think it's almost 100 years by this point. So really, like, they're not it. You have Athens, of course. Athens is quite powerful, but once again, it's just they all kind of get either in lockstep with Rome or are defeated quite easily by Rome. It's very interesting too, because obviously this time the Greeks very much fight against the Romans, like I said earlier. But after a while, I mean, who's the most Greek? Who's the most Roman-loving people? It's the Greeks, you know. That more has to do with their empire later, the Roman Empire of the East, the one that survived the test of time. Not really, but survived a while. But obviously, once all the Greek city-states come under heel of Rome, it'll be one of those Roman conquered lands that will be with Rome the longest, and will literally be there the longest, longer than Italy. Be there till the very end, right? And prove the probably one of the greatest assets that Rome ever acquired. But that's gonna do it for this video. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you have anyone who's gonna approve these videos, leave a comment down below. I just appreciate your feedback. And as always, subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Thank you.